Can you see my screen?
Yes, can see.
Okay, now today we're going to discuss tutorial 5, which is on chapter 5, statistics for describing and exploring data. So I hope since last week we don't have synchronous lecture, so you need to watch the video lecture in Elite. So I hope all of you have watched the lecture videos and try to do the tutorial questions. Yeah. All right. So we start with the first question. Can you see it clearly on the screen?
Yeah, can.
Right. So first question. Researchers at the University of Maryland collected body temperature readings from a sample of adults and eight adults. The temperatures are listed below. Find the mean, median, mode, and mid-range. Okay. Does the mean of this sample equal to 98.6, which is commonly believed to be mean body temperature of adults? So you are given list of temperature like this. So whenever you want to find median, whenever you know you need to find the median, you need to arrange the data according ascending. So from the lowest to the highest. So you need to arrange the data, yeah, because you know you need to find the median, right? So all right, the mean. So the mean is very straightforward. I think this one is like you learned this before, right? And all the formula for mean. So the mean is straightforward. So you just sum all the all the values for the data, and then divide with the number of values. So in this case, it's 8. So your mean is 98.43. As for the median, so you know that this is how many data you have. You have 8 data. So it is even number. So you know that the median will be dekat tengah-tengah lah. You know the median is always in the middle. But if it's even, then you have to 1, 2, 3. So this will be the middle. So the median is 98.4 plus 98.4 divided with 2. So it will be 98.4. Okay. And the mode is the frequencies, the most frequent data in the sample. Okay, so in this case, 98.4, 1, 2, 3, you have 3 data consists of 98.4. So that would be our mode, the most frequent in the sample. So the mode is 98.4. Okay. As for mid-range is minimum plus with maximum divide with 2. So it's 98.5. Okay. Okay. And we have one question here. Does the mean of this sample equal to 98.6? So in this case, the mean is 98.43. So the mean of this sample is not 98.6. While this random sample is small, it tends to suggest that typical healthy body temperature for adult is less than 98.6. Okay. So that is question number 1. Question number 2 is almost similar. You are given a list of data. So in this case, it's income per capita for 5 states, which is Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, and California. Okay. So when the 45 amounts from the other states are included, the means of 50 states amounts is, okay, this is given for 50, if 50 state amounts, the mean is 29,000, okay. Okay, find the mean, median, mode, and mid-range for these 5 states. So what you do, since you know you need to find the median, sama juga, you need to arrange it in order first. Okay, arrange the data in order first from minimum to maximum. Okay, and then just calculate the mean. Mean dekat sini, we just tambah everything and divide with 5 states kan. So divide with 5. So it's 27,994. Okay, as for the median, we only have 5 data, so it's odd number. So automatically just get the middle data. So it will be 26,183. Okay, that will be mean. As for mode, is there any data that repeat the most frequency data in this sample? No kan, tak ada repeat kan, tak ada repetitive kan, so we don't have any mode here. Okay, so there's no mode in these questions. As for mid-range, minimum plus with maximum, so our mid-range is 28,254. Okay, and question B is 29,672 is the mean amount of personal income per capita for all individuals in the United States. No, because the mean of resident in US should be determined by considering each individual equally to avoid biased data results. Okay, there will be an explanation. Okay, now question 3. Okay, question 3 is about range, variance, and standard deviations. This is just now. Question 1 and 2 is measure of center. So measure of center is mean, median, mode, and mid-range. Okay. Now measures of variation is range, variance, standard deviations. Okay. So all the values for variance, standard deviations, it gives you, why do you need to calculate variance and standard deviation? What does the value gives you? It gives you explanations on how varies is your data. For example, if you have like 10,000 data, kalau you ada 5 data, of course you can just, by looking at it, you can see whether it's varies or not count. Sama ada dia berbeza ataupun tidak, ada sama ada dia spread ataupun tidak kan. If it's like 5 data or 10 data, you can tengok je data tu, you know already, right? But if you have like 10,000 data, so how is quite impossible for you to look at the data one by one. So that's where you need to calculate variance and standard deviations to see whether the data varies or not. How does this data, the characteristic of the data, whether data tu dia terkumpul dekat satu concentrated in one values, or whether it's spread, it very varies, whether it's very varies. So that's why you calculate variance and standard deviations. So we look at the slide on your right side. Let me go to measures of variation. So it's range, standard deviations, and variance. So as for range, you know maximum minus minimum. So that will be the formula. Okay, straightforward. And for standard deviations, this is the formula for standard deviation for sample. Okay, for sample. Sample is anything less than 30. That will be some sample. Okay, and then there's a formula for variance. Variance is very straightforward lah. Kalau standard deviation, the variance is just square of standard deviations. Yeah. S is the standard deviation, right? Okay, sigma here is a population. Yeah. Whenever we use sigma, it is a symbol for population, for standard deviations and variance. Yeah. If you use S, that is for sample. For population means that we talk about all the data, all the sample, all populations. If sample, we take around less than 30 out from the population, that's what we call sample. Population, if we talk about population, means that we include all. If let's say I want to talk about the populations of first year students, means that I need to include everyone from every program. That is a populations of first year student. If I want to take a sample from the first year student, then I pick just a few from each program. That would be the sample of the populations lah. All right. Okay, for the range, for question 3, you are given this data here. This data, right? So you arrange it in order, because it's usually we always start with arranging the data in order lah, right? Because we want to see the minimum and the maximum. Tak nak salah nanti. Alright. As for the range, very straightforward. Maximum minus minimum. Hope you guys can see this. So maximum minus minimum, okay, is 24. The maximum is 57 minus 33, so it's 24. As for variance, okay, for variance, where is the, okay, or this is a sample because we only have like 9 sample, so we're gonna use formula for sample. This one you need to very careful, yeah, which formula to use. You need to know whether it's sample or population. Okay, now this one is a sample, so you're going to use this formula here. This is the formula for standard deviation. Standard deviation, so if variance, you just square root. So hilang dia punya standard, set tu. Square root tu hilang because of the square. Alright, so for the variance, so this we're going to use this formula. So you know that you need x squared, right? So it'll be easier, it'll be appropriate for you to include another column of x squared, because later on you need to sum all the x squared and you're going to use this value in the formula. All right, and you need to calculate the summation of x as well. So because you need to use this in the formula. So once you have this table here, so you just take all the values, just include substitute into the formula. So summation of x squared will be 18,737 minus summation of x squared. Ini you have to be very careful. This is summation of x, square dia dekat luar. So you need to use the summation of x, so which is 405. So 405 square over 9 and might divide with 9 minus 1. So our variance is 64. And once we calculate variance, of course, we can get the standard deviations because we know standard deviation is square root of variance. So you just square root the variance equal to 8. All right. Everything okay so far? Right. Okay. Okay. We move to the next questions, which is question 4. Now, this is a group data, yeah, what we call a group data. When we look at the lecture notes, let me go to the group data. Okay, this is what we call a group data, where you have, satu-satu dia ada group kan, 60 to 63, 60 to 66, 66 and then 72 to 75. So this is what we call a group data. Okay, so you are given this group data here, and you need to calculate mean, variance, and standard deviations. Yeah, for group data, you have another formula to calculate mean, variance, and the standard deviations. Yeah, for mean, it's like this lah. All right. Since here they talk about sample, then we use sample formula for sample. Okay. Okay, this is the formula for standard deviations for group data. All right. If group data, always start with a table like this. Okay. Why? Because it will be easier for you to substitute into the formula later on. So always start with nampak tak? Okay. A table like this. Right? So you have this column is given to you in the questions lah. The height is the group and the frequency, this one is given to you. So what you need to add on in the table is the midpoint, because later on you need this. Okay, you need to calculate this because M is the midpoint, and you need to calculate M times F, M times frequency. So you need to calculate that, and then you also need M square F. You see here, M square F. And you need to MF, so you need to calculate this. So that's why you have to do this table first. Okay, and then once you have that, you just calculate for every group, calculate and get the summation of MF and get the summation of M square F. Okay, so once you complete the table, that will be easier for you now. So mean is summation of MF divided with N. Okay, so N here is 100, the frequencies. N is 100, so you just calculate lah, you get 67.35. Okay. As for variance, so you just get the formula for variance for group data. So this is the formula for group data. Sama lah macam yang sebelah ni. Sebelah ni, this is a standard deviation, so just the square root kan. So you buang square root lah for variance. So it's summation of m square f, and then so you just substitute here, substitute all the values, and then calculate, you get your variance equal to 10.614. Okay. Standard deviation is the square root of variance. So square root 10.614, you get 3.26. Okay. All right. So question 5 is another example of a group data. Okay. You are given this data here, group data here. So first step, always create a table like this, yeah, that consists of midpoint, MF, and M square F. Okay, always start like this for group data. Okay, so you have, so you calculate your M midpoint, and you calculate your midpoint and MF and M square F. Okay, and you tambah semua, so you get all the values. As for the variance, you just need to substitute all the values inside the formula. Okay, macam tadilah sama je. So you get 68.7. Okay, and the standard deviation is square root of the variance, so you get 8.3. So always bear in mind, I know this one is quite easy and straightforward, but the mistake is always in the calculations. Sometimes you do mistake in calculations. So please be careful and do not do a careless mistake, because salah satu je and the summation dah salah. Okay, then the whole questions you get it wrong. Okay, so please bear in mind to calculate carefully and jangan buat salah. Alright, because everything is about, for statistics, everything is about the formula. You know, you can refer to the formula anytime. Kalau during exam, you can refer to the formula anytime. The problem is which formula to use. The problem with student is you need to be able to choose which formula to use. You need to understand which formula is to use for different types of problems. You need to understand the case study, you need to understand the problem, then you decide which formula to use. You don't have to memorize the formula because you can refer it anytime, but you have to know which formula to use in each problems. Yeah. Okay. Now, I think you guys okay with the group data already. Group data okay tak? So always start with, if you have a group data, always start with apa tadi saya cakap, the table. Okay, always start with the table. What table for midpoint, MF, and M square F. Okay, and then you just need to substitute lah into the formula. Alright, now question 6, we go to the use of standard deviation. So using Chebyshev theorem. Okay, we go to the use of, let me see, this one. Use of standard deviations, the Chebyshev theorem. So the Chebyshev theorem is actually, we want to calculate what is the number of standard deviation it is from the mean. Kita nak kira how many standard deviation is it from the mean. So for usual values, okay, for any number k greater than 1, at least 1 minus 1 over k square of the data values lies within k standard deviation of the mean. So we want to calculate how many standard deviation is it from the mean. Mean dekat tengah sini kan, how many standard deviation from the mean. Okay. Alright, so we look at question 6. The mean time spent with her patient by a physician is 14 minutes. Okay, this is the mean. So the mean is 14. Yeah, and then the standard deviation is of these times is 3 minutes. Okay, so the standard deviations And the standard deviation of this time is 3 minutes. So using Chebyshev theorem, find the minimum percentage patient with whom this physician spent. So for example, question A, it is 5 to 23 minutes. So you want to calculate how many percentages falls within this times lah, all right? So now, you know the mean is 14, so you want to calculate how many standard deviation is it from the mean, right? So 5 minus 14, you have negative 9. 23 minus 14 is 9. So you want to calculate how many, right? 9. So therefore, our K, you know our K is now is 9 over 3. Okay, so K is equal to 3. Okay, so once we calculate our K, so we have, you know that 1, the formula here, yang ini. Okay, so 1 minus 1 over K square is equal to 8 over 9. So when you calculate that in terms of percentage, so it means that 89% of this patient, of her patients, spend around 5 to 23 minutes. Macam tu. Alright. So 89% of a patient, the mean time spent with her patient is 89% is within this range, 5 to 23 minutes. Okay. How about B? We want to calculate the percentage of her patient spend from 8 to 20 minutes. So similar, you just have to minus 8. So you want to calculate. So you have to minus 8 with 14. So you get negative 6. 20 to 14, you get 6. And your K now is, so divide kan. Sebab divide dengan standard deviation kan 3. So your K now is 6 over 3. So two standard deviation from the mean. Okay, that is what we mean. 2 standard deviation from the mean. So now we want to calculate the percentage. 1 minus 1 over K square. So you have 3 over 4. So you tukar pergi percentage, you will get 75%. So this means that 75% of a patient, he spend around 75% of the patients spends around 8 to 20 minutes with the physician. Macam tu. Okay. Alright. So question 7. The time spent with all her patient by a physician has a bell-shaped distribution. So whenever we see a bell-shaped distribution, we know this is a normal distribution with a mean of 4 minutes, sama juga, and a standard deviation of 3 minutes. Okay, standard deviation is 3. So using the empirical rule, find the percentage of patient with whom the physician spend around 11 to 17 minutes. Similar, so you want to find how many percentage of the patient spends around 11 to 17 minutes. So what we do is minus the mean, so you get negative 3. 17 minus the mean, you get 3. And then you calculate the K. Okay, you calculate the K, so it become 3 divided by 3 lah kan. So 1 standard deviation from the mean. Okay, once you have that, so you know that it is, you calculate, you know that it is 68% patient spends around 11 to 17 minutes with the physician. I think we should have a table. Looks like this. Okay, this is the empirical values for standard deviations. You can see here, if it is 1 standard deviation from the mean, we know it is 68%. If it is 2 standard deviation from the mean, yang ini 2 standard deviation from the mean, it is 95%. If it is 3 standard deviation from the mean, means that 99.7% is within the range. Okay. Okay, this one you need to remember as well lah. Okay, if it's 1 standard deviation, the differ is 1 standard deviation from the mean, it is around 68% of the data. If it is a normal distributions lah. Kalau macam contoh soalan 7 tadi, okay, this question just now, you guys can see my slide, right?
Yeah, can.
Okay. Okay, for question 7 just now, it is mentioned here, it is a bell-shaped distribution. Bell-shaped distribution means that normal distribution. So this is a normal distribution. Kalau bell-shaped kan dia macam ni. This is a normal distribution. Okay. So whenever it's a normal distribution, then you can use this empirical rule here. You don't have to calculate 1 minus 1 over k square as now. So you can use this empirical rule here. So that when you calculate, you get around 1 standard deviation. Automatically, you know that if 1 standard deviation is 68%. So you just put 68%. Okay, provided that the questions or the problems gives you informations about the sama ada dia normal distributions lah. Normal distribution also can be known as a bell-shaped distributions. Yeah, right. Okay, now that is for use of standard deviation just now. Okay, so now question 8. Jordan is 78 inch. Jordan is 78 inch. Rebecca is 76 inch tall. Jordan is obviously taller by 2 inch, but which of them is relatively taller? Men have height with mean 69 inch and standard deviation of 2.5 inch. Okay, so mean for men is 60 inch, standard deviation is 2.5. While for women, the mean is 63 inch and the standard deviation is 2.5 inch. So we want to calculate which one is relatively taller. So that is what the use of the z-score. Okay, this is the formula for the z-score. Okay, you calculate this. Okay, what is z-score? Z-score is a number of standard deviations that a given value x is above or below the mean. Okay, the z-score is calculated by using this following lah. Okay, this formula here. Okay, it's either the difference between sample and population is the the terms used lah, the variable used. For sample we use S, for population we use sigma. Okay, so now we want to calculate for men and women. So Jordan is men, so you use mean for men and use standard deviation for men. So you just calculate, masukkan dalam formula for z-score. You get 78 minus 69 over 28. All these are given in the questions, the mean and the standard deviations, and you get Jordan punya z-score is 3.21. Okay. Now for Rebecca, for woman, so you just substitute all the mean and the standard deviations and you get 4.96. So you can see that Rebecca is 4.96, right? So therefore, Rebecca height among women is relatively greater than Jordan's height. Yeah, means that for Rebecca height among the women, dia tinggi among the women relatively to the Jordan height. Right? Very straightforward. So you just use the z-score. Okay. Now question 9. Question 9 is about the first quartile, second quartile, and third quartile. Okay, let me go to the percentiles. Okay, percentiles and quartile. All right. Now, the first quartile is actually P25. Okay, this is first quartile. Second quartile is P50. Okay, and the third quartile is P75. Okay, P25 means that, you know, the 25% of the data, and Q2 is P50% of the data, and Q3, the third quartile, is the 75, the third quartile, 75 percentiles of the data. Okay, so in this case, we want to calculate first quartile, second quartile, and third quartile for question A. All right. So what we have here, we have data given here. We have 15 students of data. Okay, what we do is we arrange the data first. Sebab nanti kita nak tengok we have to locate the quartile, yeah. So you arrange the data in order. So from the minimum to maximum. So all 15 data, you arrange it first. Okay, and then you want to calculate the value for the first quartile. So the first quartile, we know the first quartile is 25, right? So we want to locate where is the 25. So 25 which means 25. So this is the formula for locator to locate the position. 25 over 100 times with how many data you have. So in this case, it's 15. Okay, so 25 over 100 times with 15. So you have 3.75, which is in decimal point, right? So whenever your locator is in decimal point, you have 3.75 here, you round up. Okay, always round up. So you round up, so you get 4. So means that the location for the first quartile is at 4. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So means this is the first quartile, 33. Okay, all right. For the second quartile, because you know second quartile is P50, so it's 50%. So 50 over 100 times with number of data. So 50 over 100 times with 15, you get 7.5. So because it is decimal, so you round up. Okay, always round up. Round up, you get 8. So the second quartile, this is the first quartile just now. So the second quartile will be at 8 position. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this will be your position for the second quartile. Okay, so the second quartile will be 45. As for the third quartile, it is P75, right? So it's 75 over 100 times with 15. So you get 11.25. You can see this is also decimal. So kalau tengok decimal macam ni, round up. So even though when you round, it's 11.25. Sometimes you can say, oh, it's 11. No. For this case, for a locator, you round up. So 11.25, it become 12. Okay. So our third quartile is, this one is just now is 8, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this is our third quartile equal to 51. All right. Okay, that is the question A. For question B, find the value of 80th percentile. So P80. So we want to find P80. So for P80, the locator is 80 over 100 times with 15. So you get 12. Nampak 12 ni? It's a real number kan? Dia apa? Whole number, right? So what we do if you have whole number here, see 12 here, so you just plus with the next number. So this is 12 position and 13 position. So 51 plus with 51 divide with 2. So the answer is 51. Okay. If you see a decimal, so you just round up and that will be your position. Okay. Kalau whole number like this, you have to plus to the next number and divide with 2 to get the value. Okay. Right? So find the percentile rank of 46. So 46, percentile rank of 46 is 8 over 46 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. It's below 46 lah. So ada 8 kan? See 8 over 15 times with 100. So it's 53.33%. Right? That is percentile of rank 46. Not percentile 46, but percentile's rank of 46. Okay? That would be finding your first quartile, second quartile, third quartile, and also how to calculate the percentiles. Yeah. So always remember, first quartile is P25, second quartile is P50, third quartile is P75. Okay. Okay. Now, I think 10 is last questions. So now construct a box plot for the given data. Kita nak construct box plot. Before that, you should know how does box plot looks like. Let me show you. Okay, this is box plot. Yeah? This is box plot. You have a minimum value here, and then you have a box here, So in this box consists of, this is the value for first quartile, this is the median, I mean the second quartile lah, and this is the third quartile, and then end with the maximum value. This is box plot. So it means that you need to know what is the minimum, what is Q1, what is Q2, what is Q3, and what is maximum in order for you to find, to draw a box plot. Okay. So in this case, you are given this data here. What you do is you arrange it in order first. Okay. Arrange in order supaya you nampak minimum and maximum. Okay. So minimum and maximum you already have. Okay. So that's the you already have the value for maximum and minimum. So this one settle minimum and maximum. So you need to calculate Q1. Okay. So Q1 sama macam soal question 9 tadi. So Q1 is 25%. So 25 over 100 times with number of data. In this case, number of data is 16. Okay. So 25 over 100 times 16 equals to 4. It's a whole number, right? So kalau whole number means that you have to plus with the next number. So 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 23 and 24. So 23 plus 24 divide with 2. So you get first quartile 23.5. Okay. Settle for Q1. So Q2 is 50%. So 50 over 100 times 16. So equals to 8. So it's also a whole number. So what you do is add position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 32 plus with 34. So 32 plus with 34 divide with 2 equal to 33. So our Q2 also settle. Okay, we have Q2 equal to 33. Q3 pula is 75%. So 75% times with 16. So you have 12. Okay. Also a whole number. So the 12th position, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's 45 and 47. Okay. So what you do is 45 plus 47 divide with 2. You get Q3 equal to 46. Settle. So you have all the values for the box plot already. So what to do next is you just need to draw the box plot. Yeah? You just need to draw. This is the maximum just now. Maximum is apa tadi? Maximum is 12. Minimum is 12. Maximum is 67. So this one is 12, 67. Yeah? And then Q1 is 23.5, 33. So Q1 is 23.5. Q2 is 33 and Q3 is 46. 46. Huh? So you have this. So you just draw this. So this is a box plot. All right. Okay. Settle chapter 5. Even the tutorial also. Okay dah. All right. So you guys okay with chapter 5? Any questions? Okay, no question. Very straightforward for chapter 5. All right. So I hope you guys understand chapter 5. So this week in lecture, we're going to discuss chapter 6. I will be handling these 2 weeks lecture, chapter 6 and chapter 7. Saya akan handle the mass lecture lah. Alright, this Friday. So I'll see you guys this Friday, 2:30 to 4:30. Alright. So and don't forget, today the quiz will be available at 10 AM. Sekejap lagi, it will be available in Elip. So the time limit is 20 minutes for 10 questions. Okay. For chapter 1 to chapter 4. LU1 to LU4. For linear algebra lah. Alright. So the time limit is 20. You can try it from 10 AM to 5 PM. Anytime you are free for 20 minutes, you can go to Elip and do it. Setiap seorang is 20 minutes limit. Alright? Okay?
Okay, madam.
Alright, I'll share again the QR code for those who tak sempat. For those yang dah ambil attendance, you can leave the session lah.